Hello, I'm Corey. Welcome to episode 21 of Flips, Flaps, and Folds. Today's video is brought to you by the die cut video. I had been working on prepping pieces for the die cut video, and one of the things I do is use scraps of cardstock and then scraps of coffee dyed tracing paper, and I was building some of the flowers. But some of the tracing paper scraps were pretty good sized, and I didn't want to use them all for flowers, so I grabbed the cardstock scraps and I started putting them on cardstock to make pockets. And when I was doing that, I found a piece somewhat like this that had a divot taken out of it, and it was folded over like this. And I thought, well, gosh, what can I do with that? And I came up with this. No, I shouldn't even say I came up with it, but I made a flat triple fold. So the piece has a pocket on either the left or the right for a tag. It's got a pocket on the front and then a pocket in the back. Now there's a whole bunch of different ways to do this, but I hadn't seen it before, and I thought it was kind of cute and it was kind of fun, and all it needs is a rectangular scrap of cardstock. I already took the divot out of this one and inked it, but that's all you need is any longish rectangular piece of cardstock. While I was doing that, I thought, well, gosh, I wonder if that would work. So I made this sample and this sample, and I was playing with it and seeing if I could do the same type of thing. The idea with these would be, you've got your, sorry about that. You've got your pocket here on the left, and then it would be glued down on 3 spots in the back. So you've got your back pocket right here. So you've got pocket, pocket, and a front pocket. And then I thought maybe you could put an embellishment or something there or over on here, whichever you wanted, right? So that's kind of what I was thinking. And then I thought, well, gosh, you could do the same thing with a longer scrap. And instead of having a single side, you could have a double side. And so I did the same thing. I made a double-sided. There's a pocket here, a pocket here, and you've got a double side. So you've got another pocket back here and a pocket here. And you could use this one as to put it into like a belly band or a fold over, or just paper clip it in because it's double-sided. And the concept is exactly the same for either piece, just one you've chosen to make it double-sided and one is going to be just a single side. And I will show you how to do that. All right, you have got your rectangular piece of cardstock, right? And double-sided cardstock is great for this. You decide about how wide you want this pocket. Both of these happened to be 2 inches because it worked with that particular size of rectangle. But, this one, I think I folded it over at 2.5 because of the pattern that was on the paper and what I thought might look nice or what have you. So here, I folded it at 2.5. It doesn't matter, whatever size you need for your project. So here I fold this one at 2. Okay. Then I grabbed a scrap of, and I had it here. Here we go. A scrap of coffee dyed tracing paper. This one I folded down the edge and then I sewed it prior to putting it on the card. This one I didn't do anything. I just inked the edge a little bit and put it down. And so I thought that just fold this one over and not sew it. If I were doing this as the double-sided pocket, I'll show you in just a sec. The only thing there's only one thing you do differently, and that's it. All right, so I folded this down. If I was going to sew it, I would sew it now. And I found because of tracing paper, glue just doesn't look as good. If you were going to use a cardstock pocket right here, then glue would be absolutely fine. But with tracing paper, it always shows through no matter what I do. So that's why my sewing machine is right here. All right, I've folded it over and I used my circle punch to take out a little bit of a divot, right? And I am going to glue this down. And now it doesn't have to go all the way underneath because that pocket's going to be sewn. So I can save this and use it for something else. If I were doing the long one, I told you I'd show you that in just a second. The only difference is I make this go all the way. And once I've sewn it, I fold it over back on itself. That way I've got the front and the back pocket. That's the only difference. I sew this whole thing along, all the edges, and then I fold it over. I would still take a divot here and I'd take a divot here so that you know it's a pocket. But we certainly don't have to. You could do one of those U-shaped divots if you wanted to. But for the sake of this one, I place it here. And what I do when I sew these things on so that they don't wiggle, I'll move it just a little bit behind there because I don't want my tag that I'm putting in that pocket to catch. So I'll do it just kind of like, my eyeballs aren't as good as they once were, and working at a distance like that makes it more of a challenge. So I'll put a piece of purple tape right here, and it'll hold it in place while I'm sewing it. And I will sew this down. Okay, I haven't tried to sew around the tripod before. Okay, that's kind of a challenge. Let's just hope I get the stitches in the right spot. My eyes are usually closer to the machine than that. All right. Okay, and then I sew the bottom. Okay. And I don't have to back stitch on this because it's going to be covered. I keep my scissors on my cart with the magnets, so I don't usually have them at hand here because I don't normally need them. All right, and then I'll trim this off. Then all I do is I close this up. See, so that's why I don't have to double stitch or back stitch here. And then I will sew this piece down. And I'm gonna sew it this way. And again, I'm kind of guessing because I can't really see it very well. And I will back stitch on this so I don't have to tie it off or tape it in the back. And again, if you were doing this with cardstock, you would just glue where I'm stitching. I apologize if I'm not very clear. My granddaughter's spent the night last night, and tonight all her parents are out of town, and she's got a cold, so poor thing didn't want to sleep much. And Alma's not used to staying up most of the night anymore. All right. Okay, let's move this out of the way. And there we go. I'll take the purple tape off. If you don't have purple tape, I highly recommend it. It will tear book page, but it's just so handy. It holds things in place when I sew them. And, oh, what did I forget? Oh, I forgot to take a divot here. So I am going to, let's see, that is about 3 inches. So I'll make a little mark at 1.5. And I will take a little bit of a divot. Let's see if I got that right. Okay, take a little bit of a divot there. And ink it. And that is all there is to this pocket. I would glue it down in the back. I've got a spot for a tag or something small, some kind of small embellishment, a little book or something here. I've got a space for a tag in the back, and then I've got a space for a tag on the side. There you go. And again, the only difference, if I were doing this one, I would, oops, sorry, I dropped something. I would sew my pocket on. Okay, so I would take the divots, and then I would fold it back on itself like this, and I've got my double-sided pocket. I have a pocket on the front, I have a pocket on the back, and that's it. I hope you enjoy this, and I hope you have fun creating. Thank you for watching, and take care.